Oh god, I just fucking recorded for like 15 minutes. And then my mom came in and said that this packet came. And then I know it's good that she came in. Because then I noticed, oh fuck, I forgot to unmute the microphone. So the comment was from Duplino and it was on the video label Advent Tea Calendar Day 9 Cussler Side Effects The Irishman 2019. And, by Duplino. How old were you when you went to the mental ward? I'm very curious about your experience there because I've heard a lot from people both saying they're hell, almost like a prison, and others who say they are great, like an escape from life's troubles. Was there any crazy shit that went down or any interesting patients? Also, what were some of the symptoms of psychosis that you experienced if you don't mind sharing? So, probably gonna start with the last question first. Well, the first question. How old were I? Well, this was in 2014. Because it was the same year my mom got her first heart attack. So that's 2014. And I started this channel after I came home from, not immediately after, but it was after, but I think it was, well, but I know it was still the same year. Or I should say, I started uploading. I think that is more correct than I started the channel. I think I had the channel a couple of years before I started uploading videos. Anyways, well, in 2014, I got prescribed Saroten for depression because I told some of the doctors that I'm a little bit depressed because, well, obviously, with the pain and I don't feel good, I can no longer do the shit that I used to. You know, just what I feel like, well, isn't that natural? Isn't it natural to be a little bit depressed and all that when you're in constant pain? And just the situation I'm in, it's kind of like, well, it's normal, right? But I got prescribed Saroten. And it gave me a psychosis, and in my one, a lot of this is secondhand information because I barely remember anything from that day. And it wasn't like the first day I took Saroten I got this. I think I took it for a couple of weeks, and it just, I don't know what happened, but something happened, and I started destroying my room. And when I just say destroy, you have to understand the physical capabilities I had back then. It mostly was me throwing shit like off the desk. I started painting the walls. I painted 2 of my monitors. One we had to throw away, and another one that is now my second monitor. It used to be my main monitor. My mom managed to clean up, and what is this model number? Fuck, I looked up the model number before. GL2240. I'm probably gonna put at the end of the video, maybe, why put the muted version? It's muted. But I looked it up then, GL2240. It survived having paint on it on the actual screen. My mom managed to scrub it out and it's still good, so it's a good monitor. But anyways, and I think I might have showed that before, but in the walls they're like, in certain areas they're like 2 different whites. That is because I painted with a red color, because I'm pretty sure I was painting at that time. And I think I was painting red and blood effect, because I think those were the 2 colors that were used. And right there are a bunch of dots still. We did not, well, when I say we, I mean my mom, because I didn't do it. I did not. Peahc cleaned the mess that I did. My mom did that. And when I came back home, I couldn't sleep in this room for a while. I had to sleep in my mom's room, and my mom had to sleep here because I just couldn't do it. Or my mom tended to sleep in the living room, actually on the couch. But yeah, it took a while for me to get over actually sleeping in this room. And over there, I'm gonna take pictures of what I'm talking about. But in that corner right there, there's still some red paint because I used to have a bigger cabinet. So we just painted what we could. My mom just painted what she could reach. But now when I have a shorter one, you can still see some red right there. Which kind of like brings out a little bit of an kind of like maybe an anxiety maybe when I see it. I kind of become like a little bit, but I think I need to get over it. So I think it's good. I'm not gonna do anything about it. I think it's good to see it and to hopefully get over it after a while. Yeah, so psychosis just made me very aggressive. I locked the door. My mom had to call the police. They came here. They took me out. They took me to the hospital. Not the mental ward, but obviously the hospital. And apparently, while they were doing that, I was screaming that I was gonna kill everyone that I saw, and yeah, it was very like. When I hear my mom talk about this, it's kind of, oh, that's so weird. Because I'm a very, very mellow person, but yeah, Sarotian, it did something to me. And then, while I was in the mental ward, I got another medication. I don't remember its name, but while I was in the mental ward, I feel like it didn't help at all. But I wasn't. I just felt like normal. I had a little bit of depression here and there, but otherwise it was just normal. But when I left, they increased the dosage because, well, to see if it has any positive effect. They did not increase the dosage, however, as much as they normally would because of the, well, obviously because of my reaction to the Saroten. But that one gave me a completely different side effect. I did not get aggressive. I got very, like, I remember, this is what I remember, like, oh man, I just felt so good. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go out. So I'm gonna go out, fuck this, I was alone at home back then. So I'm gonna go out because I think my mom, I don't remember where my mom was, but she was somewhere. I think she was out shopping or something. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go out. And one of our neighbors saw me and I was like, oh god, there's something wrong with this. Because she recognized me, so she called my mom. I was like, oh, your son is outside. Because you have to understand, in my mind, it was sunny outside, it was warm. I had shorts, a t-shirt. I was just out having fun. But what I actually did was I was just in my underwear. I had like a gas mask. They say that I had. It must be the gas mask that I use when I paint. Because that's the only gas mask I have. And it was cold outside. So I'm really glad that that neighbor called my mom because, like she said, oh, I called your mom. And what she said, like, you better come here and get your son before someone like calls the cops or something. So she looked out for me. So I'm grateful to that neighbor for that. Yeah, but after that, I refused to take any type of antidepressants or anything like that. It's also one of the reasons why I'm like reluctant myself. Kind of like, I don't want to take cannabis that has high THC. If I would use cannabis, I would want it to have higher, is it BCD than THC? Something like that. I don't remember what it is. But that is what I would like to try. Oh, where's my... There we go. Oh. Yeah, I'm just my loafers. Yeah, so, oh god. As I'm talking about this, I'm getting a little bit worked up. So that is the backstory. Now, well, both the backstory and what happened after. Now, during it, the mental ward for me, it was just neutral. It was not bad. I would not say my time in the mental ward was bad. I would say it was boring. It was very boring in there. But I was allowed to have my phone. And I was mostly on my phone most of the time. Well, I was on my phone pretty much all the time. And I also... You were not allowed to have like a long cord chargers, you were not allowed to have chargers. But what I was allowed to have was a battery bank. One thing that you plug your phone into like an external battery to charge it. Because the cord on that was very, very small. So that I was allowed to do that. And when the external battery, after I charged the phone, I would give the external charger to the people, and then they would charge the charger. I said the people, the staff. And there I was for 45 days. In my mind, like, oh man, I must have been in there for like 3 months. But no, I was there for 44 days and a couple hours, to be specific. But to me it felt like 3 months, but it wasn't. And I mean, my psychosis when it comes to the serotonin ended pretty quickly in a sense, because I remember waking up, being in the hospital, or being conscious, like in the hospital, just being like, what the fuck, where am I, and all that. So yeah, but when I got put in, other patients, there wasn't anything really like bizarre and all that. Because there was only 12 patients, if I remember. Yes, there was 12 patients, 3 guys including me. 3 guys including me and 2 other guys, and 9 women. And those other 2 guys is probably the ones that I would say probably had like the craziest stuff. But I didn't interact with them because one of the guys was just in his room like most of the time. I barely saw him at all in the 45 days I was there. And the other one was, I think he did not have Down syndrome, because when people with Down syndrome, you can see that they have that. But he had something. But I did not interact with him much at all either, because he was just there for like a week or 2, and there he disappeared. Or at least a week or 2 as I was in there. He was probably in there much longer before. But I only saw him for like a week or 2, did not interact with him much at all, and then he was gone. And then, but out of the 2 patients, well, there were 3 patients I interacted with. One of them was an older woman who was really interested in me, in the sense that she herself had a son that was very close to my age. And I think she was just in there. She was in there for just general depression and stuff like that. And then she was pretty much like, oh god, like, I can't imagine why you're here. You look like my son. You're in the same age as my son. Oh God, you're too young to be here, blah, blah, because I was their youngest patient. I think most people... Oh yeah, I completely forgot to say when it happened. Because I've talked about this in a video before for like 14 minutes. This was 2014. Did I say that? I'm pretty sure I did. I must have. It was 2014. Before I started the channel. Or before I started uploading. She's like, oh God, you know. But it was mostly just talking about problems, just interacting a little bit. The other girl, which is one that I felt so bad for, she was there because she had suffered a complete like mental breakdown from stress. The work she worked as a... Well, I'm not gonna give too much details, but to condense things, they had a little area of Stockholm that they were working on, taking calls and all that. And then all of a sudden, without any expansion to their workforce or anything, instead of that little area that they now had all of Stockholm. So the amount of calls and shit, that the workload that they just increased, just broke her. So yeah, so I was like, man, I felt really bad for her, because it broke her to the point where she had to write everything down, absolutely everything, because she got a special thing that she was allowed to have a pencil. I was not allowed to have a pencil, because kind of, oh, you can hurt yourself, blah, blah, blah. But she was allowed to, because she had to just write everything down. People she's talked to, what they're saying, everything. I mean, it's like what she's eating, just... And I think it was kind of like, if I remember correctly, it was kind of like to get some control and all that, because... I don't remember, but that is what I remember from that time. Like, her just complete... After like 40 days that I was there, she started to get better. She started writing a bit less. She wasn't as frantic when she was talking, because she was talking super fast. And she was like moving around super much while writing what people say and all that. Like a week before I left, she had really calmed down a lot. She was not writing as much. She was still writing and all that, but not as much, as intense. And another one was a woman that I thought, because when I went up to her, because she was doing jigsaw puzzles. So I was like, you know what? I want to interact with someone my own age, because most people here are quite a lot older than me. So I went up to her and went like, can I sit here? I'm going to do a puzzle as well. Just talk. And then as we talked a little bit, I was like, oh, how old are you? And then she said, oh, I'm 29. I was like, what the fuck? You look younger than me. She looked super young. But she's like, oh, a lot of people say that. I'm actually 29. I know most people say that I look like 16 and all that. I was like, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you were younger than me. So, yeah. But I did not, even though I was there for 45 days, I did not interact a lot with people. Most of the time I was in my room. I was just on my phone. Stuff like that. So, not much. I think the only thing was that it was very boring. That's it. And also, yeah, I guess it was a little bit of a prison, because we were not allowed to leave. And also the door to get in, there was like 2 levels of door. First was a door, and then there's a little room, and then there's another door, and there was super locks on them and all that. So I guess in a sense it's like a prison, but you're allowed to roam free in it, you know. It's just boring. One thing is that during it, I don't think I've ever drank as much tea and ingested as much. Oh god, as I'm talking about this, I'm getting a little bit like flustered. I'm getting a little bit of anxiety. But I don't think I've, and not just about the honey, obviously. When I talk about my time in the not mental institute, in the mental ward, I'm getting a little bit of anxiety. Yeah. I don't think I've ingested that much honey and tea, because I must have drank at least 3 cups of tea every day. And also for every cup of tea, I took a whole like packet of honey. And it was not just a small packet, it was a pretty big package. It must have been like, the packet must have been like that big and like this tall. It was a lot of honey. And I ingested like 3 of those packets a day. I'm pretty sure, like, out of the honey stock that they have, that they were using during those 45 days, I actually think that I probably ingested like 95% of the honey out of the 12 patients. Yeah. And the food was okay. It was like, it was just hospital food. And it was okay. Yeah, there's not... Not much more to say. My time there was pretty uneventful. Yeah. I think what was more eventful was what happened before and kind of like pretty closely after, but I've already talked about that. Yeah, there we go. That was my time in the mental ward. It was not an escape from life's troubles, but it did kind of like make me go like, yeah. Well, it wasn't during the actual mental ward. It was after I don't remember what it was called. I think Mumbalta, maybe? I think it started with an M, but I'm not sure. God. Yeah, I'm getting so tired because, as you could probably tell, I had just showered a little bit. I was planning, I'm gonna shower, gonna do this video, and then I'm gonna sleep. And then when I come back, I'm gonna talk a little bit about this controller that I actually got today. I have not tried it out and used it. The biggest problem is that it's a wireless controller. Because controllers, I was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna see, so expensive. Like an Xbox One controller that you can use for the PC, 700 Swedish kroners. What the fuck? I bought this for 280 or 290. No, it was 280. Then I donated 20 to save some rainforest to make it 300. Yeah. Apparently you can use it for VR. And I know you can use it for what am I talking about? Fucking controller. Yeah, so my symptoms from the psychosis was just anger, I guess. Yeah, it was just aggression, I think is a better word than just anger. Aggression and just not remembering anything. I get a little bit of flashbacks from time to time, which is why not flashbacks, but I get like an anxiety of like, oh man, like when I see that red paint right there, I'll take a picture of it. But yeah. Oh god, it's 25 minutes. Well, that is probably why I'm getting so tired. 25 minutes. If I come up with more stuff to talk about this, I'm going to do more videos on this probably. If I feel like, you know what, I'm going to talk a bit more about this. But I think this is it's good as a one-off public video. This is more things that I prefer dealing with privately. Because, man, yeah, because as I talk about it, I get like this little bit of is it anxiety that I'm feeling? I don't know, but yeah, I like to do that privately. Feeling like this privately is better than, oh god, I have to stop.